Today is the 18th day in the month of April 2024. We're glad to greet you on Morning Live today. And I am Vivian Ichuka. Good to have with me here. Looking so beautiful, so differently beautiful. Lily in the vet. In fact, this is the real definition of Lily in the vet. Hi Lily, good to have you here as
Hey,
always.
good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Thanks for being alive and being here today on Thursday's edition of Top Life Television program, Morning Ride. And good morning, beautiful people. Thank you so much, Vivian, for that compliment. Well, you look astonishing as well. I love
Thank
the
you.
black thread on the
On
white.
the white, right? That makes
It looks
sense.
like this
It's Indian.
Indian
Yeah,
Indian
it's
wear.
actually an Indian
Yes.
outfit. Came all the way from India, so
Yes.
I'm looking Indianic this morning.
Okay, beautiful. Hi, good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Georgia. Welcome to our welcome entertainment. I know you just love it here with us this morning because this will give you the hot and the hottest gist.
Hmm.
So thank you so much for riding with us this beautiful morning. We have lots of packages to unveil your way. You wouldn't regret or miss it for any reason in the world, I assure you.
Yes, once we are done here, we will bring to you the newspaper headline reviews. Of course, we'll be having a guest. We'll have a new analyst and the person of Tony Akize, who will be doing justice to the headlines we'll be reading out from the national dailies today. We also have a guest corner where we will bring to you someone who will be talking to us about something very important for us in the society. And we also bring to you trending stories. Myself and Lily West will be handling that aspect on Morning Ride this beautiful Thursday morning. This and more we have for you. All we need to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy what we have laid out for your viewing pleasure this beautiful Thursday morning. So, what's
Okay, so
trending? So we'll take start with that. Lily West, always straight to
yes.
you. So I hope you're
I know.
ready to
I know.
catch it.
I'm always ready. Always ready.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a national holiday. We have some holidays today. The first we're going to look at is the Adult Autism Awareness Day. Adult Autism Awareness Day.
Hmm.
And I believe you know what autism means. You know, people who they can't really talk very well. So let's take a little review on that. Adult Autism Awareness Day is observed by autistic adults and their loved ones each year on April 18th. Autism, also known as Autism Spectrum Disorder, that's the ASD, can be identified as a broad range of conditions that are characterized by challenges pertaining to social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communication. Now, statistics has shown that in the United States, autism affects an estimated 1 in 54 children. It is important to realize that there is no type of autism. These conditions are often individualistic. Adults with autism are also significant contributors to the field of arts, commerce, science, and more. The day hopes to make life more convenient for autistic adults. Now, we're urging you to show your support to those who are close to you and guide them towards resources that are available for them. We have scholarship resources that can help those in need to expand their horizon. Now, let's take a little bit of the history. Let's see, delve to the history of Adult Autism Awareness Day. The history. How did it come about? A person may show the signs of autism as early as the age of 2 or 3 years old. However, some may show associated development challenges at an early age. Now, research shows that early medical intervention in such cases leads to positive outcomes later in life for people with autism. Caretakers must remember that several factors influence the development of autism. Along with autism, the person may also suffer from sensory sensitivities and medical issues, seizures such as seizures of sleep disorders and mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, and attention disorders. So autism affects the person from a very tender age, so it's like 2 or
So
3 years.
it's actually not something that
That's
comes
what-
up when you already
When
attain
you
the adulthood. It starts
adult.
from your
Yes.
childhood. And
Yes.
it's advised or it's imperative that you treat these ones nicely. Don't discriminate against them because discrimination against them might bring them down, make them feel more depressed than
Yes.
they already are. And whatever help you can render, whatever assistance, financial, maybe for those who want to go to school, already
Yeah.
started school, there is
Yeah.
need for even governments to make a financial provision for them or funds available for sponsorship of this category of persons so that they can get education. And most of them are so skilled. They are
Yeah.
so good in things you do with your hands, in manufacturing and production of items with the hand. They're actually very creative despite
Yes.
their autistic situation.
Yes. And they want to really do something.
They really
don't
want to do
be
something.
idle.
They
You
don't
see
want to-
them,
They're always eager to do
eager
something. I've seen some. They're always from. I've seen mostly the younger ones. I've actually not seen an adult autistic person. I've actually seen between childhood and teenagers. You know, I've never seen someone around the age of 40 or 70 that's autistic. You know, this younger age I see them. So I wonder what happened to those who are. I don't know where they keep them. Perhaps as they grow older, they keep them indoors. They don't come out. I don't know. I've not really seen a grown, an adult autistic person. But that's it on the autistic people. There's autistic awareness day. There's need for us to not discriminate against them. Because discrimination is one thing I actually found around people, you know, who would want to, we don't want them around, don't want to have anything to do with them.
Some people think it's contagious.
They
That's
think
why.
it's contagious. It's not something that is contagious. It's not a disease.
At all. Right, so our next celebration is Celebrate Teen Literature Day. Celebrate Teen Literature Day. This celebration is mapped out every April 18. Yes, Celebrate Teen Literature Day is observed every Thursday of the second complete week in April, and this year it is marked on April 18. It is a day to remind everyone, especially teens, to read. Read. Leave internet. Go to the library. Pick a book and read. Or you can go to a
Or there are
bookshop,
e-libraries.
and read. See, I will not advise my child to read e-books. You know why? They could get distracted.
While doing
Something
that
might
thing.
pop up.
Pop up,
And
exactly.
after
Is
my
that popping up that is so
Yes,
annoying
so
and
I want them
distracting?
to be focused.
Yeah.
That's why they need the book. When I was
Physical book.
Yes.
Go to a physical library.
Yes. When I was growing up, like when I was still very young, I had collection of books.
Exactly.
I read novels. Hadley
exactly.
Chase. That was my best my number one best. Hadley Chase. I read it a lot. So I would want children to read books instead of going to e-books. I
Okay.
don't sanction e-books. Now, as everyone knows, teenagers are reading less and less these days. With high-tech smartphone and social network usage among teens, it's no surprise that their attention is off books. This has been the trend for a while now. So let us celebrate Teen Literature Day, which promotes the love of reading and raising awareness about the shrinking number of teens who read for pleasure. Now let's take a little about the history of the Celebrate Teen Literature Day. Few things are older than literature. Literature has a long history. It has practically shaped our current way of life several centuries later and centuries to do so. Now, literature provides entertainment, enlightenment, or instruction to the reader, the listener, and also the observer. Literature and writing are connected, but not synonymous. The earliest known writing from Sumer, Egyptian hieroglyph, and logs from ancient Chinese regimes. We don't really need that. So, one of the most popular important examples of this is the destruction of the Library of Alexandria in the 1st century BC. Fire destroyed amounts of texts that many believed to set the world back decades or even centuries. Okay, so that's just a bit of the
The
history.
history.
So I'll urge teens to pick a book, read a book, and most importantly, join a book club. Because joining a book club
Will
is
encourage you
rewarding.
more.
It's a very rewarding decision when you read a book with group. You know, you enjoy and you understand it better. Because you might not understand some parts, your partner might understand. When you throw the question open, you see people who would, fill you in, enlighten you on that particular topic. So it's very good to join a reading. It's very good to join a book club, so you can help yourself, advance yourself in reading. And please, leave e-copy books alone. Read books.
Okay, when you brought up this celebration, I got
Yeah.
excited within me because this is one area that I'm very good at.
Okay.
Literature. I was the best
Yeah.
graduating literature student in
Wow.
secondary school. Our graduating year. Maybe because of my background, my family, educationist. My parents, my mom, my father, my father, and mother were both English teachers.
But you read a lot.
I'm
That's another
I'm
thing.
giving you a story. So
Yeah.
I read a lot. I read lots of books. I had access to those literature recommendations for us even before
Yeah.
they were recommended. I had already read them. Talk about Animal Farm.
Yeah, Animal Farm.
Oliver's Gulliver Travel. Talk about the King, the
Liberty.
gods are not to blame. Ifwa, the gods are just name all the literature books. I already read them before they were even introduced to them. Were introduced to them in our classes, and it's actually very necessary that you read because it broadens your horizon. You get more enlightened. Like they told you, history dates
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Dates back, and you get to know about so many things that happened there before you were born,
Yeah.
even while you were born. Reading books is not just limited to entertaining books, but read books that would enlighten you, that will
Yeah.
educate you more, not just
Yeah,
entertain
educate you.
that will
Yeah, that's
educate you
true.
more. It's
Yeah.
actually necessary to take that. And of course, when you are good in literature, you are more able to get solutions to things happening around you in the society. Because some of these books actually teach you about the things of life and how to handle them, whatever situation you find yourself. So I want to say happy Teens Literature Day.
Yeah,
And
happy
you
Teens
are
Literature
encouraged
Day.
to read and keep reading. No knowledge
Yes.
is lost.
Well, it's not just for teens alone, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Even adults.
Even
Adults
adults,
should
yeah.
learn how to read. And,
Of course,
when I saw this
it's when
join
you
a book,
start. It's when you start reading from childhood. It
Yeah.
continues to adulthood. So we actually
Yeah, but-
encourage the turns the more to
yeah, but let me
read.
tell you something.
Yeah.
Some children, while growing up, they read a lot. But when they grow
They
to
stop.
adulthood, they stop because so many distractions at that particular time. You have so many distractions.
Okay.
Now, like, I love this part that says, join a book club. I love that part. But we don't get to see so many book clubs now. So many book clubs. We don't get to see
We
them.
have just few.
We have very
like two,
few.
one or
So
two
if
in
we can
Asaba.
have more, yes,
Mm.
if we can have more book clubs, in a particular state, it will actually help people. I see adverts on so many things, but I have never seen an advert
On book
on a
clubs.
book club.
Yeah.
So we need that a lot. And secondly, our library needs to be fixed. It needs to be up to date. Because when you get to the library, you're looking for a particular book that you do and you don't see
Exactly.
it, you will not be encouraged or motivated to go back to that library.
Definitely.
You
want to like
let's go.
let
And
go.
you get these books free. That's when you want to go to the library, you pick a book, you sit there, you read. Even if you're not done reading, you can also go back the following day. But one thing with e-books is that you have to pay for it.
You
They're
have
not
to pay
free.
for it online.
So when you keep reading and you get to
You
that
keep
very
paying, but
interesting
you have
part,
to,
you
like,
need to
pay.
pay.
You
Well, I
will
was reading-
continue, and
Yeah.
that's not actually good because having started reading, you should continue. You
Continue.
should finish to know exactly how it ended
Yeah.
and then know the full story of whatever you have been reading.
I was reading one particular book on the e-copy book, and this story was getting very
And
interesting.
it got to a point.
I got to a point
You
and
need
they
to pay,
said,
check
you
it.
have to pay the girl. I was like,
Wow.
who does this?
And of course, for you to even pay, it's difficult for you to pay because it's an
Credit card.
online with credit card and all
Credit
that,
card,
and we
yeah.
hardly have that around here. So, how would you be able to do that? And that's just the end of what you've been reading. And it's actually annoying when you're unable to finish
Finish
a
your
story,
book, I'm telling you. I'm
Right?
telling you. So educate a teenager around you, motivate them to always read. Always read. It's very important.
And at this
Okay,
point,
so-
we
okay,
want
I will
to say
jump
kudos
in.
to some of our
Okay.
great literature icons, so to say,
Yeah.
great writers like the Wole Soyinkas, the Chinua Achebes, just naming one to say kudos to all you have done as far as literature is concerned, because you
Yeah.
actually added a lot of inputs in the literature world. So
Yeah.
what else do we
Yes,
have?
we have another celebration, the International Day for Monuments and Sites.
Hmm.
International Day for Monuments and Sites. This is
We have more.
celebrate it.
We have more of arts today. We have a lot coming
Yes.
from the art sector. You know, we've done literature now. We're doing monument and what now?
Monuments and okay, that page has actually gone away. Let me see. Okay, International Day for Monuments and Sites.
These are all arts.
Yes.
Yeah.
To celebrate International Day for Monuments and Sites by visiting monuments and heritage sites. Now let's take a little about that. The International Day for Monuments and Sites is observed on April 18 all around the world every year. The goal is to raise awareness of cultural heritage, diversity, the vulnerability of sites and monuments, and the measures needed to maintain and conserve them. Every year, the International Council of Monuments and Sites, as the ICOMOS, sets a theme for initiatives organized by its members, national and international committees, and anyone else interested in contentious historical interpretations appears to be critical to preserving our heritage, given that the deterioration or extinction of any cultural property, as stated by the UNESCO 1954 and 1972 treaties, causes harm to mankind as a whole.
Yeah. And an interesting one there.
Yes,
Talking about preserving our heritage.
cultural
Yeah,
heritage.
cultural heritage. You know, some of these monuments have been there, you know, and they need to be preserved for people who are coming now. I mean, the next generation to still have access to them, appreciate them, know about these things, know the history behind these monuments. I remember 2 weeks ago, I was in a town, Umunede Kingdom, to be precise, for their annual Igwe festival. And it was actually a very beautiful thing to behold. At a point, I think there were two very important monuments, you know, at the village square. And all of a sudden, I saw some guys baiting these images. I was like, why are they baiting them? They baited them, they walk up on the two of them and give them something to hold. It's like it's a tradition. It's like recognizing they were warlords, you know, then before they died. So they were like appreciating them for what they did, for fighting for the freedom of Umunede Kingdom.
Oh,
And every
really?
festival period, they always accord them that respect. They always give
respect.
that to them. And it's actually interesting. I found myself being awed. I mean, I have been around that, but I've not actually seen that being done. I think it's something they brought into their festival celebration like some few
Yeah,
years back, and it
yeah.
has continued, you know. And it's actually interesting. And when I asked who is this particular person, and they mentioned the name, I was like, wow, this is where this family is from. They told us the culture, the history of the family, how they contributed to the growth of Umunede Kingdom, how they helped fight some wars that brought about liberation in different areas in the life of the Umunede people. And now the Umunede people can like, always say yes, we are Umunede, we are the strong Umunede people we have always been, and there ain't no stopping us. Now these people
Yeah.
actually come out en masse. You need to see them like in their thousands celebrating. Their
Hey.
festival come from far, you know, because of
Okay.
this particular act. That is
Celebration.
called celebration. That the act of even the baiting of these monuments, of these images of their warlords back then. So it's actually something very interesting to behold, and it's encouraged that we celebrate this particular thing.
Yes, so that's all on the national celebration. Really.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then I want to say thank you very much for being there. We have more coming your way. Like I did say, we'll be bringing to you analysis of the headlines on the national dailies today. And Bonnie Akezi, very much here, ready. Please go nowhere after this break. We'll be back. time for us to analyze the stories making headlines on the national dailies today. Like I did say, we have Bonnie Akizi to do justice to this segment of the program. Lilibet is still here, like she would say, she hasn't gone nowhere. All right, Mr. Bonnie Akizi, welcome.
Thank you,
How are
Vivian.
you?
I'm fine.
You're
Good
looking good. I
morning.
love your shirt.
Morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Good to have you.
Okay, so Lilibet, we kickstart with the stories making the headlines today.
All right, so let's start with the Punch newspaper this morning. And the head story on the Punch paper, Aero 5 marketers subsidy payments claims wrong. Aero 5 marketer subsidy payments claims wrong. And that story is credited to FG and the NNPC. PDP governors warn against illegality or as NEC meets today. PDP governors warn against illegality as NEC meets today. Heavy punishment awaits persons threatening Nigerians' unity, says Tinubu. Policeman, Kogi governor foil EFCC attempt to arrest Yahaya Bello. Tsunami threats force evacuation after Indonesia volcano. Trump, Polish president meet in New York over Ukraine war. Adamawa plans 55.5 billion naira supplementary budget. Okay, that's all we will take on the Punch newspaper this morning. Our next paper for review is the leadership. APC PDP crisis. Gadunde battles for survival. Jamagun knows fate today. Ministry begins allocation of houses for sale. Bubu, okay. Bubu International Market gets implementation committee. Chinese firm invest in Quara, and that's on the solid minerals story. Osimhen inspires Napoli comeback in 6-goal thriller win. That's on sports. Petrol import costs fully recovered. NNPCL insists. NCOS moves Bobrisky from Ikoyi to Kirikiri prison. Okay, that's all on the we'll take our next paper, the Vanguard. CBN not using foreign reserves to defend Naira, says Cardoso. CBN not using foreign reserves to defend Naira, says Cardoso. Courts give contradictory orders amid EFCC's siege of Yahaya Bello's residence. Army rescues another Chibok girl, Lydia Simon, in Borno State. Investigates Wike others' activities in 2023 elections. Clark advises PDP. Investigates Wike others' activities in 2023 elections. Clark advises PDP. Crisis hits ADF as Nwala suspends Ohua Bunwa and 10 others. 111.24 billion naira debt. Ebonyi didn't borrow from World Bank. IMF, says Nwifuru. Maritime workers fume over FG's unholy romance with IOCs. 10 years after Chibok, Nigerian girl child still endangered species. Olarinwaju, Kunpunu, Wusu, Adeniji Adele to NAS, amend 99th Constitution. And on the Yoruba Nation, Oyo government demolishes Onitiri Abiola's residence. New Olubadan installation process starts soon. And on the student loan, why students in private institutions won't benefit. Why students in private institutions won't benefit. So that's to say the student's loan is meant for the state universities and not private state institutions and not the private institutions. Well, this story is credited to Nel Fund, and that's on the Vanguard newspaper. The Nation newspaper is next. Violent ethnic agitators will pay the price, says Tinubu. Violent ethnic agitators will pay the price, says Tinubu. CBN not defending Naira with foreign reserves, says Cardoso. Train 8. Nigeria LNG expansion plans may be threatened by contract breaches. APC kicks against illegal court order on Ganduje. Drama, confusion trail EFCC's bid to arrest Yahaya Bello. And on the Kogi governorship dispute, Ododo opens defense, tenders documents. We will ensure transparency, accountability with student loan funds, says Nel Fund. NCC seizes pirated books worth 300 million in Rivers. 29 agitators arraigned for treason, others in Ibadan. PDP has no leadership change plan, governors insist. Okay, so that's that on the paper. The Guardian newspaper is next. The Guardian newspaper. NDLEA destroys 304,436 kg, 40,042 liters of illicit drugs seized. Okay, poor funding model. Poor City stalled $3.2 billion Eastern Rail project 3 years after. All eyes on PDP governors as Ayu's lawsuit withdrawal alters balance for Damagini. Afenifere leaders visit Tinubu, demand restructuring, security, Southwest development. OPSN warns 200% electricity tariff hike may cripple 65% of businesses. FG kicks as Kanu lists conditions for resumption of trial. And that's that on the Guardian newspaper. This day newspaper is next. Wike wins as National PDP caucus gives nod to Damagun's continuation in office. Wike wins as National PDP caucus gives nod to Damagun's continuation in office. Cardoso, CBN has no intention of intervening in forest markets. Court affirms Ganduje's suspension as embattled chairman fights back. Kano High Court affirms Ganduje's suspension. TCN deploys generation loss detection system to curb incessant power outages. Apapa Tinkan Port rehabilitation. NPA secures $700 million facility from Citibank. NCDMB receives $1 million returns on investment from Nedugas. FCCPC decries rising prices of goods despite Naira recovery, moves to protect consumers. Banking capitalization. Porsche reports projects banks to raise 4.18 trillion naira to scale hurdle. And the last is the credible valuation standards critical for $1 trillion economy, says FRC boss. Alright, so that's how we take on the dailies. That's the screaming story on the dailies for today, the 18th day of April. So back to the studio, let's analyze our papers this morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Bonnie, you have heard the stories. Let's take the first one. I think I like that first one from the first paper. That's how that screaming headlines for the first time on this read.
Alright, the first screaming story on the Punch newspaper. Aerofy, marketers subsidy payments claims wrong. Aerofy, marketers subsidy payments claims wrong, and that story is credited to the FG and the NNPC.
So, What's your take on that, sir?
Okay. Like you said, like the papers reported, say claims.
Yes.
And shade their claims.
Yes.
So, it is the issue of the subject matter they are discussing there. There is a statistics-based issue. So they should, both sides of the people who are alleging should bring up their statistics and data to enable the public, because they have put it in the public domain.
Yeah, it actually has to do with the alleged return of subsidy on premium motor spirits.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So the federal government is saying that it's wrong, that the subsidy has not returned back. To
Yes,
premium
so
motor
those who are making the claim, those who are alleging, should come forth with, because there are supposedly facts at their disposal that led them to that
Make
conclusion.
that claim, okay.
So,
But then
they
let
should-
them come up with
they
that
should go
fact
further
to
with it.
substantiate their claim.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
The
that's-
government is asking them to provide evidence to
Of-
justify their allegation.
Of course, that is what it should.
Okay.
That's what it should be.
And the
It's
next
not a matter of just mere speculation. You know, if you know, prove that you know.
Okay.
That is it.
Okay, so there's this one. Policemen, Kogi governor for EFCC attempt to arrest Yahaya Bello. So does this mean that there are some persons that are above the law? Because the Kogi state governor, that's Usman Ododo, on Wednesday, that was yesterday, followed an attempt by the EFCC Economic and Financial Crime Commission to arrest the immediate past governor of the state, that's Yahaya Bello, at his house in Wuse in Abuja. Are some people above the law?
I think the issue we should be looking at here is not a question of somebody being above the law, because the issue of being above the law is unknown to our constitution, and it is unknown to any constitution anywhere. Of course, it's a margin in law that nobody is above the law. You know, what should be worrisome is that another government agency is preventing another government agency. It's a clash of two government agencies that are supposedly that are supposed to ordinarily work in synergy.
Yes.
So that is what should be worrisome, not the settled issue that nobody is above the law. So the drama, what caused the drama there is that another government agency
Agency.
is preventing another government agency
Yes.
from taking action. And
Policemen and armed forces.
the
Stopping the EFCC.
policemen are stopping the EFCC
Yes.
from doing their job. So the policemen would don't, of course, what we saw on in the media that may not be the whole
Story.
so there may be still more than meet the eye on the matter. But from what we have seen, there are two court orders on that matter. They said the media reported that there was a court order in Kogi, and there was another court order in Abuja. So I think these are troubling scenarios in our country that we need to work on, because we said this is a democratic republic. We live in a democratic republic, and in a democratic republic, the rule of law is supreme.
Yes.
So we must. Yes, people will say that our democracy is a learning process. Yes, everything, life itself is a learning process, you know. So it is really something of concern that must be addressed institutionally. That is where I will,
That's why you base your facts.
yes, that's where I will stop on the
Okay.
matter.
All right, so let's take this story on the PDP governors warn against illegality as NEC meets today. So they are envisaging that the end, there will be some headlock or something. You know, today's next meeting is set to address whether the acting national chairman, that's Umar Damagun, should retain his position or he should be replaced. Knowing that this followed the suspension of the party's national chairman, that's Iyocha Ayu, last year. So now PDP governors are warning against illegality as NEC are aspiring to meet today.
They said that to be forewarned,
Critical
the
stakeholders.
governors as critical stakeholders in the party. So they too have a say. They also have adequate information about what is happening within their party. And like the news said, he said there's a meeting. What is the purpose of a meeting? A meeting is a platform for conversation on issues, and most times for cross-fertilization of ideas. You know, so definitely at the meeting, this is not a meeting of just nobodies. This is a meeting of very, very experienced men, mature people, well-informed people. And the party has come, since 1999. So they have their own, definitely there's a mechanism for attending to issues. So the media and the rest of us who are not members of the party should leave the party to conduct their business and sort out their problems.
Okay, there's this issue that's been trending. You know, Wike being a member of the PDP, but an active minister in the government of the opposition
APC
party,
administration.
APC. You know, attending the PDP meeting alongside former presidential aspirant or candidate of the party, Alhaji Atiku. Having seen them sitting side by side, during their first appearance at the meeting, it's raising a whole lot of issues. What do you have to say concerning this particular scenario?
Okay, like I said, my closing remarks and the last question you asked me was that we should leave members of the party to deal with the business of their party. We should stop being medicine interlopers. You know, what we're doing, that's the public, is we enjoy what Olarotimi called holding talks. We enjoy holding talks and getting involved in what does ordinarily is not our matter. So it is their matter.
So they should handle it themselves.
This matter is the kind, you saw the kind of people you are mentioning, the kind of people the people who constitute PDP, you know the people who run the business of the party. It is not social media thing. It is not a social media thing. You know, social media, we can carry anything, we can say whatever we want to say. The people on whose table the buck stops on this matter, I don't think it is a matter that is above them.
Okay. You mean that they are capable
Of
whatever
course.
is happening
Of course,
within
they
the
should.
system? Okay.
And I think they are.
All right. So heavy punishment awaits persons threatening Nigerians' unity, says President Tinubu. And he said this yesterday. Yes, he said this yesterday when the Afenifere group, that's the Yoruba socio-political organizations, Afenifere, visited him at the State House in Abuja yesterday.
Yes.
Now, my question is, do you think this administration can actually curb this economic security? Do you think they can actually, this administration is resolute in achieving economic security, knowing that all the administrations that have come and gone, they tried, but we still see kidnapping, banditry, and lots of them still going on. So do you think this administration is going to achieve that?
Well, the what I would say, you see, number one, from when since I grew up and maybe attained the age of consciousness, self-consciousness, I have never seen any government in the world that would
That's gonna be
come
faced with
out
that challenge.
come out outwardly and say we are not doing well,
Okay.
that we are not doing well. That is resigning to fate or passing. It will amount to passing self vote of no confidence. So, and if you go back, you people are in the media, electronic media, go back to your archives and bring out documentaries on the performance of past governments as far back as you can.
Yes.
There are glorious tales of what the government has done and what the government intends to do, what the government is capable of doing. Because, and even in your home, your children, even no matter how down things are, you keep giving them hope.
That's true.
You keep giving them hope. Once, even in your life, once you don't have hope again, then you are on the downward slide. So you must keep infusing that hope. You must keep giving the assurance that things will get better. So we have seen a lot. Why is it in some advanced democracies you see this party we take the day today, the next time this other party. Sometimes there are people who are not attached. Some of those electors are not attached to any political party. This one is say I'm a supporter of this party. There are people who are not really so much attached. What they are looking at is policies, the direction,
Yes.
the manifestos. You know, so like in America, you have seen America switched between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats and Republicans. Because there are core ideologies by which these parties are known. And those ideologies defines, their state politics, especially on the economic realm. So we have this government is rolling out, the national government is rolling out programs. And the administration is still in its first year. So let us wait and see. By the time you when like a child that has not been enrolled in primary school, and in grade 1, you are already making verdict. This child is not going to do well. No. I think you are going to allow some. You see the progress being made. You see.
I know where
We should not always be carried away by the announcement of policies.
Okay.
Those are the apparent. You should begin to look at indices, look at what is happening, look at milestones, look at outcomes, look at impacts. Then before you begin to come and make summations and
All right, well, let's take a look at how this economy turned around
Yes.
when this administration came in. It was not actually what people was expecting.
Yes.
And the prices of goods, price of commodity, everything has skyrocketed. It has gone up.
Yes.
Even when we are hearing that the naira is depreciating, but the cost of goods are still very high.
Yes.
Now, judging from how this administration started and the impact it had on Nigerians, do you think that Nigeria will become a major global economy under this administration like they have promised?
You cannot. There's not just this administration. There's no administration that can pull a country that is where Nigeria is today and pull it and overnight pull it up to become a global competitor. Now that one I can say it is. You see, when is development studies, or what I will call it, is not internalized in our school curriculum. That's what I mean. We are citizens. We don't have majority of us. We don't even have the capacity to know what we expect from our government by 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 information, by that is knowledge based assessment. You know, knowledge based assessment
right.
of the workings
Majority
of the
of
government.
persons
What do we
don't
think
have
that if a flyover is perhaps constructed, we say we use it to judge that particular government? But yes, flying the flyover, solving a kind of a traffic problem or this thing, putting a flyover in a very place, it is a great work. But in a particular sector, government, the activities of government or the responsibility of government is a complex. It's huge. So you are supposed to aggregate what has happened to be able to say, yes, we are moving forward. It's just like when you are talking about growth and development.
Yes.
There are two different things when you are looking at from the development economics point of view. We can grow without developing. We can grow without developing.
Now, from the economy view now,
Yes.
can you differentiate the growth and development of a state or a nation?
Okay. The growth is that, okay, from the state point, growth is that we can increase our earning capacity. We will now have more money to spend.
Okay.
Because we have more money to spend, there could be salary increment, there could be things that get this money, get into some people's hand.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, we have not improved. That money has not, the increased money that has accrued has not gone to build our capacity individually and collectively.
Talking in terms of standard of living.
Yes, you will see the standard of our education, our healthcare system, our capacity to dispense social services, essential services to the people, and overall, what we have invested in, because I will continue to say the greatest asset, the greatest resource is the human capacity. Is the human capacity. When you build, to what extent can your people, interact with the environment? We're talking of the oil company today, as well, the oil industry, the extractive oil and gas extractive industry as one of our biggest revenue earner for the country. The technology of extracting oil. The technology of extracting oil. Can we really say it belongs to us?
That's a huge question.
Have we really been able to build our capacity to say that we can say it is only our own indigenous companies that can extract our oil? How can we say that can we beat our chest and say we can run a refinery from ground zero, or to build and run it without bringing in expatriates? See, when atomic bomb was dropped at Nagasaki and Hiroshima, the wake of the Second World War, the devastation was such huge. Okay. But check between that thing, that when 1945 and even early 60, where Japan was. It is because they had the human capacity to rise above that level of devastation. They were able to regenerate
Within themselves.
Yes, they didn't do. Let's come home. If you look at Nigeria, the statistics of the development index, you will see that the states of up north are always falling behind. They're always falling behind. Educationally less, educationally disadvantaged, out of school children, but in fact all the indexes. Look at the East that suffered the Civil War. No single bomb was dropped in the north, that upper north. No fight, was not a theater of war. The whole destruction, over how many people, Igbo people perished?
Businesses destroyed.
Everything destroyed. Okay. Look, go to the east today
Wow.
and go to the
Still do the
North.
comparison. There's a huge difference.
and nothing. The government of Nigeria, the eastern of the Easterners has always challenged the government of Nigeria to show evidence of what effort the government put in they call that 3R, the reconstruction, reconciliation, reconstruction, and what's the other R?
The restructure.
So, but these people did, how did they do? They went all out trading. Generated. So, today, the Igbos are the ones who are the region in this country that they internalize the system of human capacity they call the apprenticeship scheme. It is a model that has worked for them. If you go to Igbo land is the place where you have the highest level of community self-help projects. So
we are still analyzing growth and development.
yes, so it's about capacity. So your growth is not the development is not about building mansions inside slums.
Okay.
It is not about traveling around the world. What can you do? How can you transform your environment? What is your capacity to deal with the forces of nature? If you have a newborn baby today, give the baby breast milk. Proceed to begin to. The baby's organs will improve, and there will be growth.
Okay.
But 20 years after, he's already an adult. What type of adult is this?
Have you raised?
What type of adult have you raised?
Okay,
So
let's
that's the
take this
issue of
story from
development.
The Guardian. It says that the organized private sector, that's OPSN, comprising top business membership, have warned that over 65% of private businesses, especially manufacturing concerns and SMEs, may be forced to close down due to the over 200% hike in electricity tariff.
Yes.
How true can that be?
Yes, of course they are in the industry. They should know better. But even we who are not in the industry, we know that the infrastructure, the enabling infrastructure for production, that is industrial production, is almost not there in Nigeria. What kind of production line, what kind of industrial complex are you going to operate without power and energy? It is difficult. These are machine-based industrial complexes that must run on power. So it is power and energy, and those have become there are two serious industrial infrastructure in which Nigeria is deficient. So what they're saying is it is not far from they are not they are not making prophecies of doom. When you do, how many today? What is what is the this in energy? What is the energy level that is generated in Nigeria? Look at the size of Nigeria. Look at the population of Nigeria. You know, so it's not that. You talk about okay, if there is no light power from the public power that from the discos, the public power supply, you have to generate acquire your own power generating
Sets.
set.
And you have to feel it.
How much is diesel? So, and finally you go and produce and you of course, production costs. The people who will bear the cost finally are still the consumer, because when your cost of production will determine the price of your commodities, what comes out of your factory. So, finally it will go to the consumers. Which consumers? Consumers with the purchasing capacity, or consumers without the purchasing capacity. So, you cannot produce what people cannot buy.
Yes.
You cannot produce what people cannot buy. So you definitely find yourself as a manufacturer. You find yourself in a dilemma. So how many? Let the Central Bank of Nigeria do an audit and ask our banks that are posting billions. They are going into trillions now into their annual after tax profits.
Excuse me.
Let them show evidence of the manufacturing concerns that they are lending to and they are supporting. The history of industrial development have shown that you can't have a robust industrial sector without a robust supportive financial system. So the financial system supposed to be the backbone of the manufacturing sector. So as long as that it is in the financial sector, then the power and energy, these are the three backbones of manufacturing.
Okay.
The banks are not going to lend to you. If they lend to you, they're going to lend to you at a level that you can't survive it, because at the interest rate and even hidden charges. Then the power and energy is not there. So where do you go? Our economy, that is why we remain a consuming nation. We are very good. I mean, thank God for our Igbo our brothers. We can go to every nick and cranny of every world and bring and added to it, we have this this thing for anything that is foreign, anything that is imported, even to Nigeria, as long as the thing was brought in crossing border, it's a foreign good. Because we are a people who are not content driven.
Yeah, because most people see foreign goods as authentic.
We are not,
and of course, at times you find some of our products not of standard, of substandard.
You could be shocked. You could be shocked that some of those things you call foreign are really done here and taken there. It is our side. We are people who are not content driven. Let me tell you, an average Nigerian can sell his or her gold or diamond to buy sand packed from his or her backyard and went and packaged abroad and brought back home. And Christian is something else. That is as bad as it is.
Look at there's one of these pound yam products that it's actually done here, but packaged abroad and brought back here to settle.
You are saying that
people prefer that one to the locally made pound yam around here.
I feel
it's the big man's kind of pound yam, but it's the same yam that was produced here and taken abroad to package and brought
the
back
one here is even better because it's
fresh, you know. It hasn't
made.
gone through this transport process and all that. It's still ours is still organic, preservatives and all that. Now, when you talked about foreign products and our inability to produce things, reminds me of a video I saw on someone defining the market. Ordinarily, a market is supposed to be a place where you have your own produce being sold, and not where you have things you brought from outside. And most of the markets we have here, how many of our products are actually being sold in these markets that we call our market? So it's high time we encourage the production of things we consume instead of importing more of these products. It will help us more in
See,
economic development.
Vivian, before you go to another, let me tell you, you see, one thing we plead
Mm,
to those on our policy corridors
yeah.
to do. You see, it has till today, to a very large extent, it is still the peasants that are sustaining the Nigerian economy. At all levels of government,
Mm,
we should have a robust policy to support SMEs,
yeah.
small
Yes,
and
small,
medium scale,
medium
even the micro
Enterprise,
enterprises. These are you can go to the Mohammed Yunusi's model in Bangladesh. It was something that worked, because we don't reinvent the wheel every day. The wheel has been reinvented. It's just follow the simple listen and learn. You know, rethink and innovate. That is what is there. Is everything that is needed. Everything that is needed to do these things are already present in nature and already been done somewhere. It's just a question of addressing our minds to these things.
Okay, let's quickly take this story. I keep seeing it, it keeps coming up on dailies every day. NDLEA destroys 304,436 kg, 40,042 liters of illicit drugs seized in Lagos and Ogun states. Now, my problem is how do they bring this in? Is it that our borders are not, they are not checking, you know, this menace of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking in Nigeria is really getting on the increase. Is it that our borders are slacking, or how exactly do they bring this? And every time they keep destroying them,
yes.
but we still see more coming in.
It seems there's no end to this.
Where is the loop?
The drug market is a global market. The drug is a huge global market. So it's, and when you look at the population, look at the size of Nigeria. How many border posts do we have in the country, and to what extent are we being able to man the borders? So it is a Herculean task for the NDLEA. It's a Herculean task because the market. See, in crime, a criminal will always consider the cost-benefit calculus. If the chances of being caught and the benefit it will get from the crime.
Okay.
So, if the opportunities, and again, if the opportunity to commit crime and escape is there, not escaping does not only mean the ineffectiveness of the law. You know, it's not doesn't. How does society is in Nigeria? Like I was saying the other day, the last time we were here, I was talking about what Robert Peel's principles of policing. You know, it is everybody's. That policing is everybody's work. We live in the environment where somebody will be committing crime there, and you know that what is the person doing, you will pass. You feel unconcerned.
Maybe you are scared.
Because of so many factors.
Yes.
Because of, I'm not still blaming this that is passing blame. Because there are so many. So you look at it holistically from the environment. You talked about the other time. We didn't even attend to that aspect of your last question. That the naira is appreciating, but the inflation is still going up, and the prices of things are still high. It is because the dollar alone. It has proven that the dollar alone has not been the only driver of inflation. Because that time people say because the dollar is high, you see, economic policies and theories work. We all know it. The simple thing the elementary thing you are taught in economics, ceteris paribus. All other things being equal. Remember they say in the the capitalist, even though our own is a pseudo and peripheral capitalist system, it's market forces.
Okay.
It didn't say market force because there's not only
Forces,
one.
yeah,
It's
there's
forces.
different things
There
that
are other
affecting
things.
it.
There are other aspects. So those who do economic management, who are saddled with the micro and macroeconomic management, they know all these things because there are so many factors. So that is why most of the time you see somebody, up there. The kind of decision you take, you criticize, because you are not there. You see,
If I may ask,
in managing economy, you cannot do without second order reasoning, second order thinking, so that you avoid what is referred to as the Cobra effect, wanting to solve a problem and in the process creating a bigger
more.
problem.
Yeah.
So all these things are, things that get involved. So the issue we are talking about, it is a system and it's a loop. So the NDLEA, they will strive to do their very best, but what is the staff strength of NDLEA? How many officers do they have? Compare to the athletes, compared to the territorial space they are policing, because the NDLEA is a form of police dedicated to illicit drug business.
Yes, sir.
So they could be overwhelmed by the number of people getting involved, the space they have to police, and the sophistication.
Do they have the same sophistication?
That is so. We always blame our police. Police didn't do this. Police didn't do that. If you also do the study of policing, you will understand the constraint being faced by the officers. That we are just expecting them to do the impossible.
Yes, of course, when you look at the ratio of
We are
people who are in
just
the police system,
we are just expecting
and those who
them.
they are securing their
We are
lives
just
and
expecting
property.
them to do the impossible. Apart from the population, there are so many other indices. You said you were part of the function we looked at now. EFCC went to execute their
Their duties.
duty. Another agency of
Agency.
government police stopped
Stopping
them.
them.
Have you seen where police officers are humiliated by civilians because they think they are high on some places and others? So all these things are involved in carrying out your official duties, the official
Imagine
assignment.
there was a time
So
we saw
the
that during the
NDLEA
time of
can not be left, be an exception.
We also saw that clash show up between DSS and was it the police during the time of when this man was to be arraigned.
Okay, the CBN
The
governor.
CBN governor,
former
EFCC
governor.
and DSS. I mean, dragging whose custody
It's going to be in here.
That's one of the issues we are talking about here.
So
Now, sorry to bring you back to this issue of the appreciation of the naira, and yet things still being the cost of things still being high out there. You said it proves the fact that it's not only one force that has actually contributed to the hike in the cost of things. I mean, talking about dollarization, and now the dollar is coming down, yet prices are still high. What other factors can you attribute to what we're having right now, as far as the cost of things still being high, despite the naira appreciating?
you have also mentioned it here, what the manufacturers,
Okay, because we don't produce.
we have said what do you call them, the manufacturer association or
Okay, the private
Organized private
sector,
sector, yeah.
yes.
We
Okay,
have talked about-
electricity issue.
we have talked, yes, of other factors.
Okay.
Like now there's a tariff increment for band A.
Yes.
Who are the people using the band A? The industrial.
Majorly them.
So that band A increment, it is going to be paid. That tariff
By
will go
consumers.
back to the consumers, to the band B and band C and band what? So because this is the water bottling companies here
Yeah.
is on band A. You increase tariff. Is this thing the company's production cost will increase because power is an expenditure item in their
Production.
in their production. You know, it's a factor. So by the time they finish producing, they will check.
What they have spent.
They will calculate it and calibrate and use it and to determine
Consider
the
the
cost
price.
at the
Right.
price at which they are going to pay their listing.
Yes.
So it is not only the dollar. So many other factors are there. And also remember that these some of these goods go into the market in batches. If a warehouse, in this warehouse, you have a good that will last like 2-3 months for you to say it has been produced,
Yes.
and it was produced at that high cost, and now because you bought raw materials, dollar affected it, you know, and you have stocked up, then while you are still selling that badge, those consignments, the price of the dollar comes down. It is the next time you are going to the market to buy raw materials
That you consider.
that the price of your raw material will come down.
Calm down, yes.
The one you have
It will still be
produced,
high.
you have to sell it.
You sell it off first.
So there are some goods too. So there are some items that before the effect of the appreciation of the naira against the dollar will be effective, will be effective as seen at the end of the end consumer goods. It will take some time.
Okay.
It will take some time. So there are other factors. The transportation cost factor is still there. The rent factor, that is some of these businesses are operating from rented apartment, from rented property. And you know what rent is in Nigeria. So all those factors will be put together. All those factors will
So
be put
now,
together.
are you saying the federal
The workers are
competition
demanding
increase in
increment.
salaries?
They have to increase their salary to enable the workers to be able to come.
So
All
there's
of
a
them
whole
goes
lot.
into the cost
There's a whole
of
lot.
production. So it is, I mean, it's a web.
Now, considering what you have stated now,
Yeah.
would you say that the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, the FCCPC, I mean, they are wrong in saying that any trader who keeps adding money to his or her goods should be reported to them?
What do you want them to tell you?
Who will even report?
How would you
They are
think-
putting
After
they put
reporting.
numbers out there.
What
Yes.
after reporting, what will be done?
So that they will go and ask them to pay.
How
I
many
feel
persons
they have
do
not
you
even regulated the price
report?
for prices for these commodities,
They
and they're
are-
asking you to report to them.
they
on
are-
increase. Do we
they-
have a uniform price of
they
product
are
already?
doing their work.
Of course. So
To
like,
the-
are they actually doing their work,
to
or let
the
it be
ex-
as if they are doing their work?
Well, to them, they are doing their work, or they must be seen to be doing their work.
Exactly. I
We
said that
are,
already.
our economic policy, our national economic policy, is towards the free market. We are deregulating everything. We are talking about the market. We are now using the market model of government. So to what extent will you be able to do price fixing in a free market? We must define what we want. Do we truly want a free market in the laissez-faire terms of it? Or do we want a regulated market? So we should be clear from the policy's point of view about what we want.
What exactly we want, yeah.
Are we ripe as a country, as an economy? Are we strong enough to throw our economy completely open to the forces, as a fully deregulated economy? I cannot remember any country of the world that would call advanced economy, strong economy today, that didn't practice any form of restriction at one time or the other in their country. You go to WTO, the World Trade Organization, you go to you listen to the IMF, it's telling you to leave, telling you about free market. Free market between who? That in free market, when you will come with electronics, sophisticated electronics, and tractors, and strong technological tools, I will come with yam and plantain, and you say it is free market.
Okay.
What is your capacity
In the market.
in the market?
To compete with others, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All
Thank you
right,
so much.
well said there, because this has actually caused a whole lot of issue that you should report. So I don't know if I go to the market now and I find out that the oat flour I bought 2 weeks ago, that was 22,000 naira. If I go there again and I see that it's 29,000 naira, I'm going to call this number.
You call the number and report.
I'll report.
No,
And they
Vivian, it is good to call. You see, when you call, it is not just reporting. It also will help those agencies to get feelers, to gather their data and statistics. Government does not just jump into the field. Government will get information. That is why they will say FBI. What is the decision of FBI? They don't bother how long it takes to make an investigation.
Exactly.
But if they conclude the investigation, and if they say they have concluded, and they have established it, whatever they say, you will know that is correct. They will go to the point that even when they get to the point that they're still in doubt, they will not come public. So that is how government works. So you also have, when government say give feedback, don't just say, no, nothing will happen, they're just doing to make it look like they're doing that. No. Okay, make the call. Report. Somebody, you never can tell. Because these are how government gather information and get, gather the information that is used for planning, for policy making. So it is important.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Akezibani, for coming here to not just analyzing the papers that made the headline, we also dwelt on other issues of importance as far as a nation building is concerned, as far as the state of the nation is concerned. You are always a delight to have as a guest. Thank you very much. I'm from Lilibet.
Thank you.
What do you have to say to Boni Akezibani?
Thank you,
Vivian.
Vivian.
It's thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank
and
you.
I hope to have you again.
Thank you, my sister.
We have more. We have a guest who is right here that will talk to us about youth affairs in Delta State. Please, go nowhere.
So you find at the end of the day, if as a young person you develop yourself, you won't even you find Nigeria as a comfortable place. Our weather, amidst the insecurity, but at least some part of the country they are secured. So when you develop yourself very well, you find that this country has a lot of things. Because it is this inability to look into the problems of the nation. That's why you are leaving the nation. You have a lot of problems, and where there is problem, there is money.
You don't want to be the solution.
To the problem.
You just want to
Yes.
leave it there.
You just want to leave it
Forgetting
there.
that
Wrong.
when you go and come back, it will still be
Same thing
there.
for your children. So, but if you can actually work on those problems, create solutions to them, you'll be paid.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think that's all we can take. All we can
Yes.
take on
Yeah.
this last outing with engineer Kenechukwu Anago. And of course, we looked at the role of governments in youth development. So, do you think the government's actually doing enough? Just for the youth?
Basically, we are afraid of pointing fingers now to the government because
Sorry
We-
for asking.
we are afraid of pointing fingers because we are part of the government. But
Okay.
truth be told, like the truth is
But
that
to an extent, they are trying. You know, when you see some of the appointments made in the system, you see that there are some youths who are there.
yes, the truth is
occupying
that the
spaces.
governments they are doing their best. For you to see a program where they say, okay, youth acquisition, like come and acquire skill acquisition. Come, we need 1,000 youths for this. In every state they do it. They give out sewing machine. They give out.
Yeah.
So those things they are enough.
Other parks.
They're enough for.
And
young
talking
persons.
about youth matters, I want to say congratulations to immediate past commissioner Youth Development Ministry, talking about Comrade Ifeanyi Ibiyenga, who has just been made the Chief Job Creation Officer. This was someone who did very well as a youth commissioner for the youths, impacting the lives of youths generally. And they call him the youth commissioner then. And now he's the Chief Job Creation Officer. So that means a lot is going to be done for youth as far as creating jobs for them is concerned. On that note, I want to say thank you so much for your time on Morning Ride, this beautiful Thursday morning. And remember when we kickstarted, when we're talking about trending issues, we said that today is the World Monumental Arts and Cultural Day celebration. So we'll be leaving you with this video showcasing the rich cultural heritage of Igbo people as they had their Igbo festival. In case you don't know what festival is all about, let's show you a clip of this beautiful scene. So from Lilibet, as you're signing off.
All right, from Lilibet to Gochuku, I would say learn to develop yourself and do not rely on the government alone. Do things all by yourself. Stay blessed and have a wonderful weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah!